Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is episode 91. So this is the first one of the year 2022, and I got my brother Jason Webb hanging out with me, co-host. Yeah, Happy New Year. How about that, man? We're going to, this podcast, we're going to share some insights of the past year in 2021 and give a little snippet of what's happening in 2022 later on. But, we've got a lot of good things that's happening in 2021, and we're going to cover some of that stuff from, pay raises we gave to, money earned by owner-operators to the amount of bonuses we've given out. Hey, I got one for you, Webb, and don't cheat if you already looked at this. But I'm going to ask everybody, don't answer right now. How many miles do you think Oakley covered in 2021?
Oh, man.
Yeah. We're going to get to that. So just got some, we even talking about all the clean inspections we got. And we'll also cover a little bit of stuff from the highlights of the industry in the past. We got a few things to cover there. So just some good stuff to talk about this podcast, this episode, and give our listeners, which is the, you guys that listen to this every week. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing it and sharing it with everybody and making it one of your weekly routines that you listen to the Oakley Podcast. And we try to give you some good information. Be sure and tell everybody about it too. I mean, it's become a great tool for us, a recruiting tool, a retention tool, just a good information tool to communicate with our owner-operators. I mean, other than them not knowing a little bit of what's going on. Now, I will say I don't always know what's going on, so sometimes we just wing it up here. But we got some good stuff. What's going on with you, Webb?
Man, just finished off a great year, 2021. It's been a roller coaster, to say the least. I mean, who'd have thought, going into 2021, coming, right in the heat of a global pandemic, that we'd, have such a good year. And we had a great year. Yep. And just really looking to hit the ground running in 2022, building off a lot of stuff from this past year. And there's I just can't say enough about the opportunity that we have in the next year, and so much going on. And and it's just it's like I said in one podcast a long time ago, it starts and ends with the owner operator. We can't do much. We can book all the loads in the world, and it doesn't matter if we don't have anybody to haul the load. So, we're just real fortunate and thankful for everybody, and looking forward to a great year.
So we got to counting up. The first thing I was wanting to talk about was people that have retired this year. You hear about it in the news that there's a lot of retiring going on in the trucking business, and it's right. And my first initial thought was I was going to talk about the two guys that retired from the office. Yeah. And that was Randy Reimel, been with us 12 years, and he was in the safety department. Everybody, I'm sure remembers Randy. He was just level. I mean, he just took everything in stride, just a great guy that helped us out a lot. And I doubt if he knows what a podcast is, but if he's listening, I wished he would, maybe if he's ready to come out of retirement, maybe any of these guys, if they're ready to come out and help a little bit,
There's people that do that all the time. You see athletes coming out of retirement.
Right.
Alabama coming to Little Rock. I think they're on their 4th retirement tour coming up. So, they got.
The band, Alabama. Yeah.
So, I mean, don't be shy.
So the guys, the people that retired from Oakley, we got to counting up some, and I apologize if we missed some, but we had quite a few just retire as owner-operators. Of course, one of them, before I go to those guys, the other one was Mac Holloman, that helped start this trucking company back in the day and was here for 30 years and, retired back in February, I think, of this year. And that was hard to see him go, but, man, what a great guy that helped set the standard at Oakley Trucking.
You bet. There's a lot of guys here that are here because of Mac Holloman.
That's right.
And so, definitely one of those guys you think about built this company to where it is now. He's right there at the top of the list. So
There's a lot of guys that are not here because of my comment too. Back in the early days, back in the beginning, he didn't tolerate just a whole lot. But thank goodness I sure miss him. He helped train me. What a challenge. But anyway, we got some good owner operators. I'd made a list of them, Webb, and I think I left it down there. But I can remember some of them off the top of my head that retired was Popcorn. Everybody knows Orville Carpenter, Popcorn. I had a list I knew of 12 that actually said, hey, I'm retiring, this year. So Steve Grandstad been with us a long time. I mean, Burl Nash with us a long time. There's a bunch of them out there that have retired, which means, that says a lot when they can retire from a trucking company. And it wasn't like they've just been with us for a year. I'm talking about 20 years. They've been here a long time. So it was it's real good to see that happening. You hate for them to leave, but man, that's a positive thing when somebody retires from your company.
You hate to see a guy like that, leave that's been with you for a long time, but really you're happy for them. They've put in the time and put in the work and want to enjoy, the last second half of their life, and man, we're just really grateful for them for the time we had them.
When we were talking about owner operators retiring from Oakley Trucking, it also Austin Allen come up to me and said, "Hey, what about the guys we lost?" And I said, that's a great point because we got to trying to rattle them off just off the top of our head, and we have lost some good owner operators this year. Whether it was a lot of it was COVID related, and then a couple with cancer and some issues like that. But we had Roy Clark that was with us, 20 years or more, and we had Chris Robertson that just passed away recently. I mentioned some of these guys on a Thanksgiving podcast, but Earl Odom, Cliff Ely, those are 20-plus year guys. Jim Lane out of Missouri, Charles Brown, Larry Harris was here 25 years, and of course we had an employee too, Tyler Morgan, that was with Fertilizer Department, passed away this past year. So, we just like to bring their names to light too because they were a big part of this company and getting where it is today because of those guys right there. And I don't want their families to think we forget that because we don't.
Yeah, sure. It's been
big part of it. So retires and losses and but some of the things in 2021, man, you look back and you just try to recap 2021 and kind of emphasize some of the things that happened that changed in 2021, specifically with Oakley Trucking. We may get to some other things a little bit later, but some of the things that I know when it started out 2021, we were ready. We were gonna have to make some changes.
Yeah.
We was gonna have to do some things, and I think one of the first things we did was these pay raises, pay increases.
You bet.
You remember thinking, "Oh man, this is gonna be tough."
Yeah.
But I mean, it just isn't it amazing how that stuff works out? So we did. Let me just tell you here what we did real quick. We had the first one was in May of 2021. We did a 5 cent on loaded miles and a 5 cent on the annual bonus pay. And I'm gonna tell you that annual bonus pay. We got guys. We'll get to that in just a second. That's a big deal right there.
That makes some big checks.
We did that in May, and then come a month later, said, "Hey, that ain't enough." So we did 10 cents on all the miles, loaded and empty miles. We upped the pay to 10 more cents, and this is every division. Then on November, just recently, the 1st of November, we did the freight surcharge. The freight surcharge at 10 cents on all miles, whether you're dedicated or not. It doesn't matter. That is just a freight surcharge because things are good, and that's something we look at every 90 days. We talked about looking at that and seeing if we're going to continue that. So keep in mind that. And that was, that's across the board on, I think. We did that on end dumps.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah, we did that on hoppers. And we did that on pneumatics. We did all those.
So some real quick math here. That's in 6 months, 30 cents a mile.
Yeah.
You add that up. I mean, that's When does that ever happen?
I'm telling you. What's that tell you about this year? It's a lot. Well, so back to that annual bonus. So anybody that doesn't know, years ago we started 5 cents on all the loaded miles. You get a check once a year based on all your loaded miles. For mileage paid load, you get 5 cents times all those miles. We cut you a check once a year on your anniversary date. So kind of give you something to look forward to, when you're adding it up, and you can kind of count it, all year long while it's going. You can kind of see it add up, and it makes a big difference on loaded miles. So in May, we upped that to 10 cents. So now you'll be getting, you won't get the full until I guess it comes around
another year
to May. But you're right now. So if somebody has a anniversary right now in January, then they're going to get 5 cents up to May of last year, and then 10 cents from May till their anniversary date. Make sense? And then that 10 cents rolls around, and that's 10 cents for your first year. Then it goes up a penny every year as long as you're here.
Yeah, there's no limit on that.
There's no end to it.
Yeah.
So, we got some guys getting some slam-up checks. We paid out just so far in last 12 months, we've paid out $3,608,606.91 in annual bonuses.
Goodness.
How about that? And a lot of these owner-operators, I think one of the highest we paid out was an $18,248 check for 1 year.
You be that guy's friend.
You be that guy.
And that's good. That's good. That's money well spent, I think, the way we look at it. You got a guy that you can count on and knows what he's doing and out there, making us look good. That's just, that's just kind of one of those things you just it's a good thing. When that guy comes around and get his bonus check, we probably don't make near big a deal about it. We ought to make it. That's a big deal.
Yeah. It really is. We should. We were talking about that earlier. Kent was reminding us that, look, we used to bring a guy in the office. We had a little plaque made for him. We took our picture with him, and hey, this is your, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 bonus check. And we blew it up, and we just don't do that near as much as we used to, for sure. But it means a lot to those guys.
Oh yeah.
And there'll be always people thinking, well, do I really get that? Yeah. There's no catch to it. The catch is you got to be here to get it.
Right.
So if you get terminated, you quit, and you got 11 months built up, you get the big goose egg, 0. You got to be here. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's a retention bonus, but it's also a way of building up some money and saving some money and some longevity for our independent contractors here. So some real good bonus checks, though. I think the average, what was the average? $6,800 in November. That's so everybody's going to be getting a good bonus check. They hang around that anniversary date. It's going to be building up. So what else we got going on, Webb? 2021, it has created a lot of stuff. What about this dedicated work it's created?
Man, we've got a lot of opportunities in the last year, stuff that, we didn't really know about at the beginning of the year, stuff we had been working on, previous, stuff we'd circled back to. But, we've really been trying to make an effort to, find some things where guys can be around the house a little more, because it's no secret that's what guys want. I don't blame them a bit. You want to be home. I like going home. You like going home. These guys are no different. So, yeah, we've had some opportunities pop up, on the end dumps, especially with our steel trailers. We've had, some opportunities where guys are kind of running the same thing. Maybe not going home every night, maybe going home on the weekend or, maybe getting by, during the week for a day. But, we've been able to piece some stuff together with some customers that we do work for, and it's, you know, depending on where a guy lives, it's worked out really well. You know, I think about one thing in particular. We've got a guy running a steel trailer out of St. Louis. You know, we started off with one truck. Well, now we've got another guy about to give it a try. And we'll probably add another one, you know. So that's just, and stuff like that, you know, we try it out, and, you know, a guy does it and takes care of it, well, it just builds. It just makes more opportunity for everybody else.
It seems like the more we can focus on that kind of stuff, the more it gets done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that takes some effort for you to be able to make that happen.
Right.
And then get that right owner operator that takes care of that customer. Do the customers like, I mean, not to get sidetracked, but do they like that a lot more, having the same guy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, a guy comes in and he knows where to go and kind of what they expect, and, you know, they don't have to keep retraining the guy over and over, and, you know, it just makes it so much easier for everybody, for the owner operator, for the customer, you know, everybody.
Well, and used to, you know, dedicated lanes wasn't really work for us because we pay so much empty.
Yeah.
You know, on your empty miles, so it just most of the time wouldn't work out. Plus, we have a lot more loads that we need you to pick up when you get empty down there in Dallas or Oklahoma City or, you know, St. Louis or wherever it's at. So I think by the rates increasing have created that opportunity where now we've got, I don't know how many dedicated lanes. I mean, we've always had a few things.
Yeah.
But on the pneumatic side we have. But, I mean, it's created more on the end-dump side, definitely this year in 2021 with Irving, with Oak City, with Missouri.
You bet, all those hoppers coming out of Little Rock.
Down to Texas. I mean, we've had several things that we've been able to open up and get guys home.
You bet.
A lot more, even daily.
Oh, yeah.
I know you don't like to say that, but I know that's happening.
Yeah.
I know it happens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's, you know, and it's, sometimes it's one customer, sometimes it's, you know, you piece this one thing together with something else, and it, you know, it works out for everybody. But, you know, and we're kind of skittish here about talking about dedicated, kind of like you said earlier, because, you know, it's, you know, we got all these other loads too.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, a lot of times things kind of come and go. You know, when I think of stuff we've done in the past that guy did every day, and now we don't do it, and not going to do it. You know, so it's not something that's going to go on forever. But, you know, if it goes for 6 months or it goes for a year, you know, it works out for a guy. Well, that's what we want.
Is that, not to jump ahead here on 2022, but is that something y'all are going to be looking at for 2022? More of that?
Oh yeah, yeah, I think so. I think, you know, like we said at the offset here, you know, that's kind of everybody's looking for that. Everybody wants to be home more, you know, and, you know, if you're going to be smart and attract quality owner operators, you know, you're going to have to meet that need. You know, if we don't, someone else is going to.
Yeah, I think you're right too. I mean, that's part of it. So,
you know, we still got the down in Louisiana, you know, with Linda and Dylan and Caleb. You know, we're still hauling the coke in Baton Rouge and down around New Orleans, and there's another opportunity. Yeah. You know, we're always looking for guys there, and, you know, that's something a guy can be home every night. Yeah. You know, and it's you know, you're going into refineries and dealing with coke, and, you know, it's dirty. I mean, it's, you know, you're going to get dirty, truck's going to get dirty, you know, it's just.
But it's more of it's another dedicated opportunity that we didn't have in years past. I mean,
right.
We've had that one for a few years, but you know, it's been great to move towards that, because dedicated lanes that we've acquired in 2021 has sure helped the recruiting and the retention, and then hopefully we'll come up with more of them in 2022. So I asked you the question earlier about how many miles do you think all of Oakley owner-operators have driven in 2021? I've got the up to, I think the number was the end of November, but I can estimate through December. Yeah. You want to give it a shot?
Man, I full disclosure, I actually saw the number.
You dog.
But
cheater.
I will say, if I was guessing and had not seen the number, I was going to say 40 million miles.
So we have driven 66.2 million miles to up to the end of November. So you add December in there, which is about another 6 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at about 72 million miles that Oakley Trucking has covered the United States in 2021. Now,
how many laps around the country?
How many laps is that? 72 million miles. Yeah. I mean,
covering some ground.
That's fantastic. So, also about let's see, I had Jolly tell me we had hauled 138,842 loads through November. So you can just figure, add that into, that's about 12,622 a month. Is the amount of loads we do a month. Wow. Yeah, so basically you add that up, and that is, where's my 3.2 million tons of freight.
Wow.
How about that? We're moving some freight across this country, man, covering some miles. I mean, Oakley's doing their part.
Yeah.
Stimulate the economy, right?
I guarantee you. And I can't remember all those, please forgive me, but
right.
But that's kind of the thing, all these loads happen week in and week out, and we can think of the ones that occasionally go south, something happens, something goes wrong, but I mean, how many loads a week that we do, guys, just take care of it every week and without a hitch. That's the amazing part about that, and that's a big number.
12,622 a month, and we have one go bad, then everybody knows about it.
Yeah. What about the other ones that just go off perfect?
Yeah.
It's just...
That's a great point. That says a lot about the guys we got hauling the loads.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
What about gallons of fuel? I guess you cheated on that one, too.
Well, I'd hate to know what that comes out to.
That's a lot of fuel. About 13 million gallons of fuel. Goodness. We do a little over 1 million a month in fuel.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fuel.
It's a lot of fuel.
We had 200, and so this is inspections, DOT inspections, roadside inspections that we had, and JP told me we had 437 inspections in 2021, and 251 of them are clean inspections. That's pretty good.
It is. That's what's about a little more than one a day.
I guess that's pretty good. JP, safety department thought it was good.
Yeah.
So heck yeah, good inspections there. What else has happened in 2021? I mean, that's a lot of good things for sure.
We started the Geo tab, swapping over our ELDs. I'm sure everybody knows. We and I'm no expert on it, but basically the 3G network
is going out.
So the equipment we have will be obsolete at some point this year. Now, when that is, we don't know, but we've been steadily trying to rotate guys in and out, taking out their old equipment, putting in the new equipment. And we're about a little past halfway, about 465, and I think that's probably about a week or so old. So we're getting on through there, and appreciate everybody's, willingness to, go along with that and get in here and get their equipment swapped out and learn the new thing. The kind of the feedback I've gotten is once you get the handle on it and know what's going on, it's really pretty simple.
Yeah, it's change. We talked about it before, and it's a change, but it's part of it. So it's going to be a good thing. We're going to look back and know that it was time to do it, and glad we did it and move on. So A lot of different changes back in 2021. But first, I got a couple other things I want to hit on before we talk about 2022. Let's take a quick break and listen to our sponsor, Arrow Truck Sales. Keith Wilson at Arrow Truck Sales in Springfield, Missouri is currently offering $1,000 off your first month's payment when you finance with transport funding, or $1,000 off the truck price if you bring your own financing. They're also discounting the cost of an extended warranty by $500. Arrow Truck Sales has been a long-time partner with Oakley Trucking, and that's because they specialize in first-time truck buyers. They don't do any leases. They have the best used trucks money can buy because used trucks is all they do. They don't sell any new trucks. And the biggest reason that Arrow and Oakley are partners is service after the sale. It is very important to us at Oakley that when we refer you to a company, that they are a good company with good people. They do what they say, and they understand our requirements. So give Keith a call at 573-216-6047 for a good used truck, and tell him you heard about it on the Oakley Podcast. So to get back, and one thing I wanted to discuss when we got to talking about money and bonuses and all that, I told I had Chad, our accounting guru over there, I said, hey, give me a list of the top 10 money earners right now. And I think his date was like as of 12/12. And I want to shoot a couple of numbers at you here, Webb.
Yeah.
These are what our owner-operators have grossed in 2021. And one of the top ones, all right. Now, first of all, disclaimer here. Everybody can make this kind of money, for sure. But, these are just some people that, they work now.
Yeah.
They know how to work.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got a couple of teams. So that really gets up there. But, and I'm not going to mention names because they may not want everybody to know. But we have one team on the pneumatic side that has grossed $436,000 this year.
Goodness gracious!
You tell me they ain't working.
Yeah,
they ain't work. They are working, and another team right behind them with right at $400,000. And then you get down into your single owner operators. We had a single owner operator gross $347,000.
Wow!
Pulling a pneumatic tank. Now he works.
You bet.
He does, and he's consistent at that yearly. And so let's just from the top single owner operator, $347,000 down to the number 10 guy was $262,000 grossed on the pneumatic side in 2021, and that's still with a few weeks left to work.
A little time to go.
A little bit of time to go. Your end-up guys, they were at $324,000 down to $241,000 on the end-up side, your top 10. Now, that first one was a team.
Yeah.
But so you get down to the single guy, the number 2 guy, but the first single guy, he was $265,000 gross. So $265 to $241 is your top 10 on your end-ups.
Wow.
How about some of that?
I tell you one thing I noticed looking at those names on that list, and we're not going to read them off here, but, we get lists all day, every day around here, and most of it's stuff that, guys haven't gotten done yet as far as turning in stuff for safety or, stuff they need to do and something we need, paperwork, and we're pretty good at that. Most guys are pretty good about getting their paperwork in, but if you look at those names on that list, you don't see those guys' names on.
They're never on a list.
On the other list, and I think it's just the proof's in the pudding. Those guys show up to work and do their job. Those guys aren't out driving 20 miles faster than everybody. They're just coming to work every day, doing their pre-trip, taking care of their equipment.
That's a good point. You say that they're not on a list anywhere.
Right.
That's because they take care of business. I can't leave out the hoppers because I did the dumps, the tanks, and the vacs. I didn't do the top 10 on the vacs. The vacs were $436,000 gross down to the top 10, $263,000 gross money. And on the hoppers was $229,000 was the top guy. and down to 204,000 for the number 10 guy. And here's the key for you people that are listening to gross pay out there. This is the key to Oakley Trucking. To me, it is. And I've talked to a lot of people and talk about gross pay, and that's the key is the net pay. And when you can net 70% of your gross pay, you're doing something right. And that's what Oakley guys do here. They have that. A lot of them do that here. I say 60 to 70% is about where everybody falls in place there. After, and I'm talking about after their weekly expenses. You know, your insurance, your fuel, not the truck payment, but weekly expenses, truck insurance, fuel, regular deductions coming out of there. So to me, that's how you make money in the trucking business, and that's the difference between Oakley and somebody else, because a lot of people are making 50%. They're netting 50% of their gross.
Yeah,
see it all the time. So good stuff on there. I wanted to touch back on that, but. Some other things that happened, Webb, back in 2021, before we get to go too long here. Memphis Bridge was out.
Oh,
man, what kind of debacle was that?
Goodness great. You know, it seemed like it was a big deal for, you know, right at the start, and I'm sure, and this, it's just another thing about our guys, you know. We heard a lot about it, but as far as, you know, being on time, and our guys just rolled with it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was, you know, it's not like they just stopped and said, well, I can't go that way because the bridge is out. You know, and I think that's just an example that you'd probably see over and over if you rode with the guy every day. Yeah. You know, there's something that comes up inevitably where it's a bad bridge or a coronavirus or fill in the blank. You know, these guys are going to make it work.
They still deal with it and get it done, don't they?
I mean, it's something else. So
I'd go home and shut it down.
Yeah, I'd stop at that Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. They did. I mean, you're exactly right. They get it done. I mean, Memphis Bridge. We started. We really got geared up. OFS, Oakley Freight Solutions.
Yeah, that's
a little brokerage.
Really taking
part of
off
Oakley Trucking that's taken off.
Yep, and it's, you know, you think, well, you know, what's that got to do with Oakley Trucking? Well, it's just more getting out there and, you know, turning over stones and finding new business.
Yeah.
You know, and it benefits Oakley Trucking. You know, and so it's it's really taken off.
And I don't even know what all Bruce Oakley Incorporated has done in 2021. I know, you know, Justin, they bought a bagging plant up there in Missouri, and I'm not sure what all else.
Yeah, that comes to mind.
They've done, but always moving forward.
Right.
You know, it's not, we ain't going backwards.
Right.
It's moving forward. So good stuff. We had the, you know, one big deal, which has been all year and even before, was the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we paid out. I got with Chad again, the accounting guru.
Guy that knows everything.
And about how much we paid out, because for a lot of you guys that came here after September the 1st, Oakley offered an incentive of $2,000 if you had got the vaccine. Up to September the 1st was the deadline. Well, we ended up paying out $952,000.
Wow.
To owner operators and employees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the $2,000. So about a little over half our fleet got it.
That's great.
That I was asking about. So, yeah, more than half, actually. So, I mean, that's just another thing in 2021 that's gone, and we're moving right along. And I'm going to tell you what, for you, if you listen to the news, you think everything's bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you look at what we've done in 2021, it's been a great year. I mean, for Oakley Trucking and a lot of our owner-operators that I went through a lot of these numbers, there's a lot of guys making more money than they've ever made this year.
Oh, yeah. I talked to a guy named Wes Evans. He's been with us for several years. I was talking to him today and, you know, just telling him, you know, how much appreciate him, chewing the fat with him, really. Just And, you know, he said it. He said, you know, everybody's made more money in this past year than they've made in several years. You know, so I mean, I think, and that's probably across the board, you know, but I know guys have had a great year, And the good news is, the thing that I get excited about is, it wasn't like some temporary deal. Like that sure was a great year. Let's get back to doing what we're doing. We're ready to keep this thing rolling.
Which brings me to 2022. What's it looking like?
Yeah, I mean, it's, no end in sight. You say that. I mean, no one knows what the future is going to bring, but, all indications are, talking to our customers and whatnot, everything's going to keep kind of going like it is. There's tons of opportunity. There's so much opportunity out there, for us, and stuff that we could be doing that we haven't done yet, and, we need every owner operator we've got.
Yeah.
And we need them all to bring a friend.
Yeah.
Because, and we talk about recruiting on here a lot of times, and, everybody that we have with us now knows what it takes. The guy that's going to be successful is going to, X, Y, Z, and everybody knows somebody, so we've got a chance here to really gain some steam and keep going. But, we got to have the trucks. Like I said earlier, we can book all the loads in the world, but if we don't have a quality owner operator to haul them, then it doesn't do us very much good.
Yeah.
So
I think there's going to be more good to come in 2022.
Absolutely.
Especially with the freight we've got, the owner operators that we have. It's going to be good. We're going. I really feel good about gaining some trucks and hiring some more guys. I mean, we feel like maybe it's picking up just a hair. Get here the first of the years can be a busy time for us to get some guys. So I think 2022, man, is going to be a fantastic year, COVID or not. I mean, whatever they throw at us, we're just going to, we're going to deal with it. And our guys are the best ones to deal with it. This company's the best company to be able to deal with challenges every day, every year. We're going to do it. And for it to be such challenging in 2021, we've had a heck of a year.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Well, you look at this right here. 400, this was as of end of November. 481 owner-operators here over 2 years.
Yep.
So there's some guys out there, if you're out there listening and, trying to size us up, there's guys that have been here for whoever was the president, whatever coronavirus or whatever was going on, it doesn't matter. They're still here. And Oakley's still here. Yep. You go back and listen to some of the podcasts in the last year and a half, and guess what? We're still here. Yep. Because a lot of good luck and blessings and hard work. But, it's just, we're real fortunate.
Very good point, Webb. And that being said, you go back and listen to some of the old podcasts we did this past year. Now, some of them are things have changed, of course, because we do it on a weekly basis. But I encourage people, go back and listen to some of those old podcasts. There's some good info in some of that stuff. You can check it all out. And we got some great ones. Speaking of podcasts, we got some good ones coming up in the future too here at Oakley. So y'all be prepared and tune in, because we're gonna light it up this year on these podcasts. I'm gonna get some more people in here. I had one guy today request some more dispatchers get in here, so we're gonna liven it up this year. So we got a good show coming up this year. So hey, that's all I got. How about you? You good?
Man, I'm good. I appreciate everybody. Looking forward to a great 2022. Just you guys just keep doing what you're doing. Yep. And if you're out there, I know there's some of you out there listening that have been here and left. Well, it's time to come on back. So give us a call. You know who you are. I know you're listening. Give us a call, and let's get this thing rolling. Keep it going in 2022.
Sounds good, Webb. So let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Lube Zone. Cold weather and batteries don't go together. That's why Lube Zone is rolling out battery services this month at their locations. Get a battery test for free, a $30 value, and get a full system electrical test for $49.99, a $70 value. Lube Zone currently has 11 locations throughout Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and California, with more on the way. They can do annual DOT inspections along with CSA inspections without making an appointment. LubeZone thrives on giving great customer service to the truck driver, offering full service disclosure and advice without the intent to upsell additional products to you that you don't need. But don't forget what LubeZone is famous for. Fast is back. Their goal is to provide good PM services as quick and efficient as possible so you can get back on the road. They offer 3 major oil brands, Shell, Delo, and Mobil products, along with OEM-approved filters. Stop by one of their locations and let us know how your experience was. Check out lubezone.com for all their locations and tell them you heard about it on the Oakley Podcast. Hey, we appreciate everybody listening to the Oakley Podcast, Trucking Business Family. Every week you keep it going, and stay tuned for some great episodes coming up in the future. We'll talk to you again next week. Thanks.